And a very pleasant good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome to another edition of Klamath Falls Falcons Baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com. Today, the Falcons return home to Kiger Stadium to host the Roseburg Pepsi Bottle Caps. Glad to be with you today. My name is Josh Eldridge. These two teams do in battle for the second time in as many days. Yesterday, the Falcons picking up a 15-0 win over Roseburg, extending their current winning streak to 3 games. It's up to Roseburg, though, to try to snap that streak as they picked up their first loss of the season yesterday to Klamath Falls. They'll hope to right the ship today. We're going to take a deeper look to each of these teams, what's coming up next, what each of these teams have done so far in the brief bit that we've seen them this summer. We'll also take a look at the starting lineups just around the corner, so stay tuned. Falcons baseball lays just ahead here on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Josh Eldridge back with you ahead of first pitch between the Roseburg Pepsi Bottle Caps and your hometown Klamath Falls Falcons. A win for the Falcons last time out yesterday at Roseburg. A 15-0 win for the Falcons saw them improve to 3-1 overall on the season. Right now in third place in the early season area standing. Central Point pacing the bunch right now. 4-0 in league play, 6-0 overall. South Medford and North Medford actually playing right now. In game 1 of a doubleheader earlier today, it was South Medford who defeated North Medford 8-4. They are 3-0 in league play right now. Then, of course, our Falcons 2-0 in conference play. The North Jackson Royals are 2-2. As I said, North Medford 0-3 after losing the opener to South Medford. But at least at this current moment, checking the score between those two teams, right now it's 8-0 North Medford in the bottom of the 5th. So that could be looking like a split a little bit later on. Grants Pass rounds out the order of the standings for our area, at least early in the season. But let's go ahead and take a look at the game we've got in front of us today, and we'll introduce you to both the starting lineups. First, for Roseburg, Payson Burke is the leadoff hitter at second base. Zane Hopkins bats second at shortstop. Brady Popkin is the pitcher batting third. Hitting fourth is Aaron LaPrey at first base. Nick Ruiz is the center fielder batting fifth. Riley Cortez is in right field batting sixth. Hitting seventh is Cam Stufflebeam. Lane Wagner bats eighth at third base. And the left fielder, Caden Hjort, bats ninth. Hayden Poor on the mound for the Falcons. Behind him will be a lineup that goes like this for Klamath Falls. Max Price leads off in center field. Connor Shively, the shortstop, bats second. Jacoby Takini, the designated hitter, hits third. Colin Takini, the cleanup hitter, is at second base, followed by P.J. Safford, the catcher, batting fifth. Corbin Hamilton is at first base, batting sixth, followed by the third baseman, batting seventh. That's Ian Meyer. and Carson Sims is in right field batting 8th. Ryan Douglas rounds out the Falcons' order and will be batting 9th. Again, Brady Popkin on the mound for Roseburg. So there you have it, our starting lineups today ahead of first pitch, which is just around the corner. One more break, and we'll be there on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
It starts to warm up outside, it's time to tackle your lawn. And Kyle's Lawn Care is who to contact. Kyle's been doing lawn care in Klamath Falls for over 9 years. He offers a variety of services designed to make your life easier. Kyle's Lawn Care offers weekly mowing jobs, which includes mowing, edging, and blowing off sidewalks, snow removal, big cleanup jobs, dump runs, and more. At Kyle's Lawn Care, they strive to give each job their all and go the extra mile to exceed their customers' expectations. To get an estimate, you can call or text 541-281-3623. Kyle's Lawn Care.
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
the pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
MyBasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Almost ready for Falcons baseball today on mybasin.com and 104.3 and 960 Sports. Falcons back at home for the first of what will wind up being a 3-game homestand. Today playing Roseburg. Tomorrow a league doubleheader against Central Point. I'm sure we'll be able to touch on that game a little bit later on today, but of course focused on this one against Roseburg with the right-hander from Henley High School, Hayden Poor, getting the start for the Falcons. I'll let you finish watching him warm up. For those of you who are tuned in live on mybasin.com, there's Hayden warming up, getting his final tosses in. He's about to start his second game of the summer. His other start came back on June 11th when the Falcons were in Medford taking on the AAA Medford Mustangs. And although Hayden Poor picked up the loss in that start and the Falcons would go on to lose 22-1 in that game, Poor started the game fairly well. Gave up 3 hits in 2 innings, 4 runs, yes, 3 of them earned. He walked 4. He struck out 2. His ERA is through the roof. Again, only 2 innings pitched. But if you just watched him and you didn't look at the box score, you'd say, well, Hayden, for a guy of his experience and skill level, a class of 2028 at Henley High School, pitched pretty darn good against a really quality opponent in the Medford Mustangs. And so now he'll get a chance to do it against the single-A Roseburg Pepsi Bottle Caps. Leading off for them will be Payson Burke, the starting second baseman for Roseburg. Right-hander gets ready to settle in, and we're just about ready for baseball today from Kiger Stadium. First pitch in from Hayden Poor will miss down and away. The count is 1-0. First pitch at 5:32, a little bit behind schedule, but that's all right. And 73 degrees here in Klamath Falls as the 1-0 pitch finds the zone. The count is 1-1. A little bit of cloud coverage, some blue sky peeking through there, but just a great afternoon for baseball as the 1-1 fouled off. The count of ball and 2 strikes. Of course, any day is a good day for baseball here at Kiger Stadium. Concessions open, plenty of time to come on out. If you're cruising around town, join us for some great baseball. The 1-2 pitch comes inside and it hits Burke. He'll be issued a free pass to start the ball game, which will bring up Zane Hopkins, the shortstop for Roseburg. Zane Hopkins in the game yesterday was 0 for 2. He grounded out 2 times, although he did reach base once when he was hit by a pitch. Here he pops one up in the infield. Called off by the first baseman, Corbin Hamilton, and Hamilton will make the catch for the first out. An opportunity now to take a look around the diamond for the Falcons as P.J. Safford is catching. Ian Meyer is at third. Connor Shively plays short. Colin DeKinney is at second with Corbin Hamilton at first. In the outfield from left to right, it's Ryan Douglas, Max Price, and Carson Sims. First pitch into Brady Popkin will miss upstairs. The count 1-0, maybe a little bit in as well to Popkin, who's the starting pitcher today for Roseburg. But get an opportunity to swing the bat here first. The 1-0 will miss wide. The count is 2-0. Again, aboard at first is Payson Burke after being hit by a pitch. Still scoreless, only just getting started in the top of the first inning. Set is poor. Decent lead off of first from Burke. The delivery home is fouled off the right side. And the count now 2-1 to Popkin. On deck is Aaron LePray. Roseburg 2-1 entering play in this game. Their one loss, again, coming yesterday to Klamath Falls. Their 2 wins, both coming against the Hidden Valley Legion team. A 3-2 extra inning win back on Wednesday, followed up by a fairly convincing win in the nightcap of that doubleheader, 11-5. Right now the count 3 balls and a strike to Brady Popkin. Hayden Poor comes set, not before checking the runner at first, and delivers home a fastball, outer third, about belt high, and the count is full to Popkin. That lost yesterday. Popkin was 0 for 3. 3-2 pitch, rung him up, fastball on the inside corner. Popkin had to try to dodge out of the way of that one, thought it might come in and hit him, but found the inside corner, and Popkin down looking for the second out in the first inning. Reminder, today is a single 9-inning game as opposed to what it will be played typically throughout the season, which is 2 7-inning doubleheaders, which will be what goes on during league play for the most part, which will be tomorrow as well against Central Point. But in a non-league contest like today, getting a single 9-inning game in. First pitch to LePray is called a strike. The 0-1 he takes a swing at and fouls off. So the count now 0-2 to the Roseburg first baseman. On deck is Nick Ruiz. And about a 4-step lead off of first for Burke. Here's the 0-2 home. He's on the move, and the pitch is fouled off. So we'll do it again, 0-2. Aaron LePray through the early part of the season. Again, only 3 games in, so small sample size, but batting .250 through his first 10 at-bats this season. Hayden Poor is set, and the 0-2 on its way. That one will miss wide. Stafford was asking for it outside, trying to get LePray maybe to chase in an 0-2 count. Not a bad pitch for Poor, trying to get him to work out of the zone there, but I'll have to refocus in the 0-2. Set once more. Here's the pitch. That one's in the dirt over the plate, but a good block there by Safford to keep it in front of him. Count now even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner on first, top of the first inning, still scoreless. Poor set once more, and here it comes. Swung on and missed on the fastball. Back-to-back strikeouts to get out of the first inning for Hayden Poor. Will leave 1 runner stranded for Roseburg, and will go to the bottom of the first, still scoreless on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com.
Wait, all I do is wait. So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Getting ready for the bottom of the first inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. Still scoreless. Falcons getting their first look at Brady Popkin for Roseburg. For Popkin, this is his second start of the summer. His first start lasting 3 innings. Good enough to pick up a win for him, though. Gave up 1 hit, 1 earned run, and struck out 4 in that start. That game came against Hidden Valley. It was the contest in which Roseburg won 11-5, the big blowout win for Roseburg. He was able to work with a 7-run lead for the majority of that outing. But now he'll have to go to work against the Falcons, who jumped all over Roseburg yesterday in their 15-1 win. See how Popkin attacks Max Price, who steps into the box for the Falcons, and he'll take ball 1 off the inside. 1-0 after Price in the Falcons' order. It's Connor Shively, then Jacoby Takini. Price takes that pitch inside, that time for a strike, though. The count even, 1-1. Price, a couple of doubles in the win yesterday, including an RBI, a couple of runs scored for him as well. As that pitch misses low, the count now 2-1. It was the big 4th inning for the Falcons yesterday, in which they scored 6 runs, and there was helped out by a Max Price double and later a run in that frame. Count now 3-1 to Max. As Popkin continues to work from the windup, here he comes. That one called a strike, a bit above the belt off the outer third. The count is now full to Price. Popkin just finished his junior year at Roseburg High School, delivers a pitch to Price, which is popped up behind second base. The center fielder comes in, calls everybody off, and will make the catch for the first out, and a chance to check in on the defensive lineup for Roseburg, which goes like this. Other half of the battery behind the dish for Popkin is Stufflebeam. At third is Lane Wagner. Zane Hopkins at short. Payson Burke at second. Aaron LaPrey at first. In the outfield from left to right is Caden Hjort, Nick Ruiz, and Riley Cortez. First pitch called a ball to Connor Shively, left-handed hitter for the Falcons. The 1-0 to Shively was taken for a strike on the outside, off-speed pitch that time for Popkin. You think typically you'd want to throw a left-hander away, but that's Shively's bread and butter, is going the opposite field. Here he takes another pitch outside, 2-1. I'm not sure if that's how he approaches each at-bat or if he just finds that guys try to pitch him outside, but Shively goes the opposite way a ton. Here, unfortunately, though, swings through strike 3 and goes down for the second out in the first inning. This will bring up Jacoby Takini. Getting the start as the designated hitter today, getting a little rest from catching, which he's done the first 3 complete games for the most part for the Falcons. We've seen a little bit of P.J. Safford in the late innings of a couple of these games. But Takini certainly earning some rest as he takes ball 1. And he'll take ball 2 as well, as that one misses below the knees outside. Kind of guy who you want to keep his bat in the lineup, so you give him the opportunity to be the designated hitter today. I'm sure he'll take it. It's a 2-0. That one bounces, and the count is now 3-0. On deck after Jacoby Takini is Colin Takini. Here comes Popkins' 3-0 pitch. Finds the zone on the outside, 3-1. Takini was hitless in the win yesterday for the Falcons, although he did have an RBI in the 6th inning on a sacrifice groundout. Here he sends a jolt into one deep to left field. That one is over the head of the left fielder, Hjort, and will bounce up against the wall. Takini gets into second base with a standing 2-out double. We'll see who comes into courtesy run, if they allow a courtesy runner for him, or if he's stuck on the bases. Regardless, Colin Takini will come in and follow him up, try to knock him in. So, yeah, Legion rules say you can't have a runner in unless it's a pitcher or a catcher. So now Takini, as a designated hitter, is forced to run out there at second base. Wanted to make sure that was the rule, as I thought it was. Here's the first pitch to Colin, and he'll swing and miss at strike 1. Colin yesterday was 3 for 4 and an RBI for his effort. A triple in the first inning, scored a run. Here Colin fouls one off, 0-2, trying to repeat that effort, or at least something close to it here in this first inning with a runner in scoring position. Takini would go on to score 3 more runs in the contest yesterday after singles in the 3rd and 4th innings and being hit by a pitch in the 5th. Right now faces an 0-2 count. Here's the delivery. Off-speed pitch. Takini chases it for strike 3, and that will end the inning. No runs, 1 base hit for the Falcons, and they leave him stranded. We'll go to the second, still scoreless on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account to retirement planning and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Top of the second inning, still looking for our first run of the ball game. Maybe Roseburg will find it with the middle of their order. Nick Ruiz, Riley Cortez, Cam Stufflebeam due up. That's 5, 6, and 7 against Hayden Poor. Again, getting his second start of the season. As I stated earlier, his first start was a loss, but all things considered threw well and was able to get through the first inning without allowing a base hit, couple of strikeouts. And now it's Nick Ruiz up for Roseburg. The right-handed batter, Ruiz from Roseburg High School, swings and fouls off the first pitch. The count is 0-1. Again, this Roseburg Pepsi Bottle Caps team made up mostly of guys from Roseburg High School. Couple of exceptions. As that pitch misses upstairs, the count 1-1. Now, Roseburg has 3 American Legion teams in their Douglas County Baseball Association. The Pepsi Bottle Caps, one of them. They try to split up the single-A teams relatively, even among the skill groups between all the players they can choose from. And, of course, the Doc Stewarts. The AAA team is all the proverbial big leagues, which is made up of all the best players from Douglas County, 19 and under. Here's the 2-1 pitch, called a strike. Nice fastball on the inside from Hayden Poor, evens the count at 2. Now, Roseburg was playing the Portland Barbers American Legion team earlier today. Last I saw, they were behind in a doubleheader. Here's a line drive back up the middle. Shively gloves it on a hop and makes the throw onto first in time. Nice job there by Shively to make that play. Comebacker at Hayden Poor got out of the way of it, and the play was made cleanly for the out. This will bring up Riley Cortez. Now, Riley Cortez is one of those exceptions that I was talking about who didn't play his spring ball with Roseburg. In fact, was a member of the Sutherland High School baseball team. As he takes ball 1 here, high and away, class of 2027 for Sutherland. Cortez didn't get a chance to swing the bat yesterday. I believe he saw some playing time in the outfield, but was hit for in the game yesterday. But getting his first crack of the series, he gets ahead in the count 3-0 after Poor misses outside 3 straight pitches. Cam Stufflebeam is on deck for Roseburg, hoping Cortez can find a way to get on base. The lefty awaits the pitch from Hayden Poor. That time over the plate, but nope, that is called a strike. To count 3-1. Poor already throwing again. The 3-1, that one misses outside, no question. Ball 4, and that'll give Cortez first base with 1 out in the second inning. So here's Cam Stufflebeam. Stufflebeam from Days Creek, class of 2026, just wrapped up his junior year. Set now is Hayden Poor. The pitch is swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. Didn't get a chance to talk too much about the guys from Days Creek yesterday. Days Creek High School wrapping up their prep season with a less than ideal finish to the season. 2-17 was their overall record. Days Creek was able to pick up a couple of wins in their conference. One against, actually both against Klamath County schools. One against Cross Point Christian and one against Bonanza. The 0-2 is slapped the other way. Stufflebeam, a single into right field, will advance Cortez to second and will bring up Lane Wagner. So Cortez in scoring position. I believe, even going back to yesterday, oh no, the Bottle Caps did get 2 runners in scoring position yesterday. I thought this might have been the first time. It was a really dominant pitching performance as a team yesterday for the Falcons, who threw a combined 3-hit shutout with Hunter Glidden getting the start and Ryan Douglas in to close the door. As the 1-0 finds the zone 1-1 to Lane Wagner. They're trying to get the offense going a little bit for Roseburg. Again, after being shut out yesterday, flirting with an early run here could help get them rolling. Instead, a swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. Both runners on the move. Throw down to third and in safely as Cortez slides in under the tag, which will allow Stufflebeam to advance to second as well. So that eliminates a double play opportunity now with 2 men in scoring position. But a 2-strike count to Lane Wagner, and Hayden Poor comes set. Here's the pitch. That one is going to bounce to the plate. The count is even now 2-2. On deck for Roseburg is Caden Hjort. Decent lead off the third for Cortez. Not much to speak of out second. And a pitch misses low, and the count is now full. Now first base is open, and so you walk and you load up the bases. You know, it's not what you're after, but it does create a situation with a force at any base. So the 3-2 is going to be swung on and missed. Poor attacks him with a fastball for the second out in the second inning. And this will bring up Caden Hjort. Caden Hjort, class of 2027 for Roseburg High School. Here's the first pitch to him. Offered up at and missed. The count is 0-1. Yesterday, Hjort was 1 for 2. He did single in the 5th inning of that contest. Here he swings and misses at strike 2. Poor well ahead in the count, looking to leave a couple stranded in scoring position. Safford delivers the sign. Poor comes set, kicks, fires, and an elevated fastball taken for ball 1. A nice take there by Hjort. That's really a challenge pitch from Poor, trying to get you to chase an elevated fastball. But a nice job there by the Roseburg right-handed hitter to lay off. Now Poor comes again with the 1-2, goes outside and misses. Looked to be an off-speed pitch of some variety, but the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lineup turns over next for Roseburg. Payson Burke is on deck. Set is Poor. Here's the pitch. That one bounces as well, so the young left fielder for Roseburg worked a full count after being down 0-2. Poor still looking for that put-away pitch. Set and delivers and gets him looking. Strike 3 called, about knee-high over the outside portion of the plate. 2 more strikeouts. Poor's got 4 total for the game so far, and Roseburg leaves 2 stranded. 1 base hit in the inning, but still looking for their first run. Bottom of the second next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons 24/7. We're here for you. Powering your greatness.
Getting ready for the bottom of the second inning today from historic Kiger Stadium in Klamath Falls, just off of South 6th Street next to the Klamath County Fairgrounds. Thank you for joining us today. It's a beautiful day for baseball. The sun shines bright here at Kiger, 73 degrees. Should be cooling off from now. I believe that's about the daytime high in the basin today. But thank you for tuning in wherever in the state of Oregon or abroad you might be as PJ Safford gets ready to lead things off in the bottom of the second. Still scoreless between the Falcons and the Pepsi Bottle Caps. First pitch is fouled off towards the right side, and the count is 0-1 to Safford. Yesterday, Safford with an RBI. Today, line drive center field, right to the center fielder Ruiz, and that'll be the first out in the second inning. This will bring up Corbin Hamilton for the Falcons. Hamilton, class of 27 for Henley High School. At 6'2", is the tall enlisted player for the Falcons. Here sends a line drive to shortstop. Planning on a hop is Hopkins. Throws it to first in time. 2 quick outs for the Falcons in the second. Brings up Ian Meyer. Ian Meyer's a guy who had a pretty great game yesterday for the Falcons, again in their win over Roseburg in Roseburg. Meyer finished the game yesterday only with 1 hit, but 2 sacrifice flies with RBIs. Here he sends a weak fly ball to the right side, but it gets down over the glove of the second baseman Burke. He gave a good effort, but just hit right into no man's land, and a 2-out single for Ian Meyer will bring up Carson Sims. Well, Sims yesterday was 1 for 3, added an RBI in that game. His 1 single came in the 4th inning. Here's the pitch. Sims fouls it straight back, and the count is 0-1. Brady Popkin working out of the stretch now. Of course, with the runner on first and Ian Meyer. Count is 0-1. Burke comes set, now delivers. 0-1 called the ball off the outside and low to Sims, 1-1. On deck after Carson is Ryan Douglas. Popkins set again and delivers the 1-1. That pitch bounces to the plate, gets away from Stufflebeam, and advancing to second is Ian Meyer on the wild pitch. And so a runner in scoring position now for Sims, and 2 away. Bottom of the second inning, Falcons still searching for their first run, but the path to it now becomes clearer with Meyer standing at second. Second baseman Burke walks over to second base, clapping the glove, just trying to make sure Meyer knows he's there. As Popkin comes set, high leg kick, and delivers home, a pitch that misses outside. The count 3-1. Our umpires today, very briefly, Dave Van Horn behind the dish, Cooper Roberts at the base paths. Here's the 3-1. Sims, line drive the other way. That's going to get down. Could be extra bases. Big turnaround first, digging for 2, and scoring on the play is Ian Meyer. It's Carson Sims. They'll go ahead and trade him places, and the Falcons on the board, up 1-0 after the RBI double for Sims. Ryan Douglas, a chance to keep it on rolling for the Falcons. Sims takes his lead at second. Burke still there to hold him. Popkin set. Kicks and delivers. First pitch swing and line drive over the head of the second baseman Burke into center field. They're waving Sims in, and he will score in an RBI single for Ryan Douglas. Makes it 2-0 Falcons. There's 2 quick outs to start this inning for Klamath Falls, but a 2-out single for Meyer, followed by a double for Sims, and now another single for Douglas. Falcons got themselves a 2-out rally. Now back to the top of the order for Max Price. First pitch called a strike. The throw down to try to get Douglas is not in time. I think the throw must have beat him, but it looks like he slid under the tag, and Douglas in with the steal. Pitch, my mistake, was called a ball at the plate to Max Price. Now batting with that runner in scoring position. Here's the pitch. Curveball called a strike. Sorry, the count 0-2 to Max, who's 0 for 1 today, flew out to center field in the first inning. 3 straight 2-out knocks for the Falcons. They look for another, up 2-0, bottom of the second inning. Pitch on the way to Price is taken off the glove of Stufflebeam, rolls to the backstop. Now advancing to third is Ryan Douglas. Count 1-2 to Price with Connor Shively waiting on deck. Set once more is Popkin. Right-hander with a high leg kick in the 1-2. Line drive center field. Moving over is Ruiz. A diving attempt, but it's in and out of his glove. A run will score, and advancing to second is Max Price. Another extra base hit for the Falcons, and they lead 3-0. That was despite a really good effort in center by Nick Ruiz. Full extension, parallel to the ground. The ball hit his leather and just popped out. And so that'll go in the books as an RBI double for Max Price and Connor Shively to bat now. 5th hit of the day there for the Falcons. And the first pitch to Shively is hit the opposite way foul, the count 0-1. Shively 0 for 1 in the ballgame. He struck out in the first inning. Popkin delivers the pitch. The 0-1, ground ball right side. Snagged by LaPrey at first. The throw to the pitcher covering is there, but Shively beats him down the line. Hustle play there for Shively. Helps that he's coming out of the left-handed batter's box, too. And an infield single will advance Max Price to third and bring up Jacoby Takini. Takini doubled in the first inning, was ultimately left stranded out there. But you shoot another ball into the gap here, likely to score Shively from first, although a base hit will certainly score Price from third. You wonder, after that first pitch finds the zone, how long Shively's going to stay at first. If they decide to send him with 2 outs, it's a decision to make for Coach Takini down there at third. Shively's as close to a sure thing as you can get trying to steal second. Here's the 0-1. Ground ball foul. Now the count is 0-2. After Jacoby, it's Colin Takini who waits on deck. Coach Takini giving the signs to Jacoby Takini. Popkin shakes off the first offering from Stufflebeam. Now comes set. Here's the 0-2. Shively on the move. Ground ball to the left side. Up with it is the shortstop Hopkins, and then loses it on the transfer. A run scores. Takini is safe at first, and the inning continues. Now 4-0 Falcons after the run scores on the error. So bring up Colin Takini. Again, Max Price scored. Connor Shively advancing to second on that play. And here's the first offering to Colin Takini as that one misses up and away. The count is 1-0. Colin struck out his first time up. Looking to atone for that with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs. Pitch on its way. That one is fouled straight back. The count is 1-1. Small lead off of first for Jacoby. Nothing really to speak of course, with the runner in front of him at second being Shively. Nowhere for him to go. Here's the 1-1. That one misses low and in. Count 2-1 to Colin. All of the offense this inning for the Falcons have come with 2 outs. And all of it earned except for that last error. Here's the pitch. Called a strike to Colin on the outside. The count now even. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, and 2 out in the second inning. Hopkins set. Takes a look at the runner Shively at second before delivering home. 2-2 set into the air, right field. Cortez going back. That one nearly over his head, but able to adjust and make the catch in time for the third out. But the Falcons use 5 hits to score 4 runs, and they leave one stranded. They lead 4-0 going to the third inning next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
We drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon, soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
Welcome back to Falcons baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Getting ready for the top of the third inning, a game in which the Falcons have built themselves a 4-run lead. After putting up a crooked number in the second inning, they'll have to face the top of the Roseburg order. It's Payson Burke stepping in now. Here's the delivery to Burke, and it is fouled back. The count is 0-1. Well, we're certainly not the only team in our league in action today, as South Medford and North Medford in a league doubleheader. The first game of that series already in the books as the 0-1 misses upstairs to Burke. The count 1-1. South Medford won the opener 8-4 against North Medford to improve to 3-0 at the time, at least in conference play. Now, a little bit of foreshadowing on my part. The nightcap, at least as I see it, just went final for North Medford, and they are winners 8-0 against South Medford. So a little bit of a split between those 2 teams over there. The 3-1 getting ready to be delivered to Payson Burke is fouled back, and the count is full 3-2. One other game going on today involving teams from our league, although this is a non-league contest between Central Point and Siskiyou. And right now in the third inning of that game, Central Point leads Siskiyou 6-1, and they look to continue adding on to their lead in the bottom of the third inning there. They just add another one, 7-1 now. 3-2, and this is a ground ball back to the mound, snagged on the mound by Poor, underhand toss to first in time. That's the out. Nice play coming off the mound for Hayden Poor to record the out. And so this will bring up Zane Hopkins, 0 for 1. He popped out to third base in his first at-bat. Here he takes a strike, the count 0-1. And as I look over my tablet showing scores, Crater just added 2 more runs to their lead, up 9-1. We see Central Point, not Crater, tomorrow here at Kiger Stadium for a league doubleheader. Certainly to be a good one there. Crater, of course, the Central Point, the defending Oregon State champions, and they'll be coming to Kiger Stadium tomorrow for that doubleheader. Right now, the count of ball and 2 strikes to Zane Hopkins. And Poor delivers the 2-strike pitch. That one is low, out of the zone. The count even 2-2. And tomorrow, by the way, that doubleheader against Central Point, one of the last times you'll be able to see the Falcons here at Kiger Stadium until the month of July. They've only got 1 more home game after that. Here's the 2-2, swung on and missed. Down on strikes goes Zane Hopkins, second out in the third inning. Yeah, just to finish my thought here, the Falcons will play 1 final home game in the month of June on June 17th, which is Tuesday. They'll play the Post 58 Crushers before going on the road and eventually off to Alaska for the Falcons. As that pitch misses low, the count 1-0. They won't play at home again until after Tuesday on July 1st when they host Grants Pass. The 1-0 swung on and missed by Popkin. Count is now 1-1. Brady Popkin struck out in his first at-bat. Here he watches ball 2 bounce to the plate. Count 2-1. 2 outs. Top of the third inning. The Klamath Falls Falcons lead Roseburg 4-0. The 2-1 on the way from Poor. Line drive, left field, base hit. Popkin going to take a turnaround first. He'll stay there. And a 2-out single for the Pepsi Bottle Caps brings up their cleanup hitter, Aaron LaPrey. Nick Ruiz on deck after Aaron LaPrey. But LaPrey 0 for 1 today, struck out his first time. Here he rolls one foul down the third base side. The count is 0-1. LaPrey from Sutherland High School again struck out earlier today. Here's the pitch. That one right over the heart of the plate, called strike 2. Runner at first is Popkin. Small lead as Poor doesn't pay him much attention, just delivers home, gets a swing and a miss on the changeup. Drop third strike, throw down to first will get him and finish the job. One base hit in the inning for Roseburg, but no runs come across. They trail Klamath Falls 4-0 going to the bottom of the third on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
As it starts to warm up outside, it's time to tackle your lawn. And Kyle's Lawn Care is who to contact. Kyle's been doing lawn care in Klamath Falls for over 9 years. He offers a variety of services designed to make your life easier. Kyle's Lawn Care offers weekly mowing jobs, which includes mowing, edging, and blowing off sidewalks, snow removal, big cleanup jobs, dump runs, and more. At Kyle's Lawn Care, they strive to give each job their all and go the extra mile to exceed their customers' expectations. To get an estimate, you can call or text 541-281-3623. Kyle's Lawn Care.
Getting ready for the bottom of the third inning, a game in which the Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Roseburg Pepsi Bottle Caps 4-0. Leading off this inning is P.J. Safford, then Corbin Hamilton, then Ian Meyer. That's 5, 6, 7 due up this half inning. Actually, the same guys who began the second inning as well, the inning in which Falcons scored all 4 of their runs. But all of it was with a 2-out rally, which is to say Safford is 0 for 1 today. Flew out to center field his first time up. Here he takes ball 1 off the inside. Now, Safford got a hold of that ball pretty well that he flew out to center field. Unfortunately, just hit it right at Ruiz, but looking to find some green out there this time around. Here's the 0-1 to Safford. Pops this one up the other way, out of play, foul behind first. And the count is 1-1. Klamath Falls Falcons baseball camp is coming up next week. You still have time to get your kid registered. There's a registration form on our website on mybasin.com. 1-1 pitch to Safford, rolls to the plate. The count 2-1. Camp runs Monday next week through Thursday with registration starting at 7:30 here at Kiger Stadium. It's a chance to get your young ones out and learn from some of the best players and coaches in Klamath County. As the 2-1 misses outside, 3-1. By the way, not just some of the best players and coaches, the best players and coaches will teach kids of all ages. So it's a great opportunity. Come on out, support the Falcons, get your kids out to summer camp next week. 3-1 to Safford, line drive to second base, right at Payson Burke, and gloved that one for the first out. Again, Safford, line drive right at somebody. It can get real tiring to square up baseballs right at people, but you got to just remember, eventually those are going to start to fall if you keep swinging the bat well. Here's the first pitch to Corbin Hamilton. He'll take a strike. The count is 0-1 to Corbin. He's 0 for 1 today, also grounded out last inning. 0-1 on the way to Corbin. Here's a fly ball right side. Right fielder going back. Cortez backpedaling and makes the catch for the second out. Ian Meyer getting ready to bat now for the Falcons. Meyer 1 for 1, singled and later scored in the last inning. Right here takes strike one. Like I said in the game last night, Meyer not getting a ton of base hits. He was 1 for 1 in that contest, but 2 RBIs on back-to-back sacrifice flies in the 4th and 5th innings for him. Was able to help his team out in their 15-0 victory against Roseburg yesterday. Right now, the count 0-2 to Ian. Here's the delivery on the way. Is a line drive to the shortstop. Hopkins snags it. Throw on to first is in time. And a nice play by Hopkins to set down the Falcons in order in the 3rd inning. To the 4th we go, and the Falcons up 4-0 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
At MyBasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
the pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
MyBasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Getting ready for the top of the 4th inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. The Falcons lead 4-0 against Roseburg. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Falcons so far. They've left 3 runners on base. For Roseburg, no runs, 2 hits, 1 error for the Pepsi Bottle Caps. They've left 4 runners on base. Quickly, the count 0-2 to Nick Ruiz. Then he'll be followed by Riley Cortez and Cam Stuffleby. 0-2 checks his swing, and did he go? Yes, he did. Appeal down to the base umpire, and Ruiz down on strikes for the first out in the 4th inning. Well, this will bring up Riley Cortez, who walked and was left stranded in scoring position in the 2nd inning. Here's the delivery from Hayden Poor. The left-hander takes strike one off the outside. The count is 0-1. Cortez from Sutherland High School. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one misses outside. Sutherland, of course, a 3A school. Here's the 1-1. Swung on a miss. The count 1-2. Sutherland missing the playoffs this year, finishing 9-15 overall in the prep season, 4-8 in their league, which was won by South Umpqua. Here's the 1-2. It misses outside. The count now 2-2. Falcons were actually supposed to play the Legion team from South Umpqua for the season opener back on June 8th, I believe it was. But scheduling issues, that game wound up getting canceled. Don't think it, at least in the schedule, I haven't seen it rescheduled, but would love to play everybody and anybody that we can, especially in a team like that who won their conference. Back to this one, though, the 3-2 line drive right field over the head of Tacchini, and that'll be a 1-out base hit for Riley Cortez and the Roseburg Pepsi Bottle Caps, bringing up Cam Stuffleby. 3rd hit of the day for Roseburg, And Stufflebeam has one of them. He's 1 for 1. He singled back in the second inning. Looking at Stufflebeam in the early part of the season for him. It's the base hit that he got in his first at-bat is his first base hit of the season in his first at-bat of the summer. So not hardly a sample size at all for him. Was looking through my books, didn't see him, and so figured it must have been his first hit. Here he sends a ground ball out to second base. Dakini throws to Shively for 1, on to Hamilton for 2, and a 4-6-3 double play will get the Falcons out of the fourth inning. They'll carry a 4-run lead to the bottom half next on 104.3 and 960 Sports. You've got it live on mybasin.com.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
Bottom of the fourth inning, ready to get going. The Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Roseburg Pepsi Bottle Caps 4-0. Carson Sims, Ryan Douglas, Max Price due up this half. That's 8, 9, and 1 in the Falcons order. Carson Sims coming up with a RBI double in his first at-bat in the second inning. Here he bats leading off the inning with the bases empty and swings and misses at strike 1. Been a good start to the summer for Carson Sims, carrying on what was a good prep season. He might just add another extra base hit here. He sends one down the line in left field. Big turnaround first. Sims digging for 2. Close play. He dives in safely. And a leadoff double for Sims. He just keeps racking on up those extra base hits for Sims. His 4th double of the season is how we lead off the 4th inning. Douglas singled in a run his last time up as well in the second inning. Knocked in Sims, who was in scoring position, now finds himself in a similar spot, trying to find a similar outcome, though Douglas rattles off the first pitch foul. The count is 0-1. Douglas, early part of the season, but batting .500. Right-handed hitter stands in. Awaits the 0-1. Off-speed pitch popped up. Out of play foul. The count is 0-2 off the top of our press box here at Kiger Stadium. Somewhat newly remodeled with new carpet. By the way, that's partially responsible for Ryan's dad, Rob. Put in some new carpet up here in the press box. Big shout out to Rob Douglas. And oh boy, Ryan just got plunked on the helmet, but he hardly moved. That's why you got that plastic up there, I suppose. He seemingly okay. It's just sort of strange when that happens. Hit on the head and you're all right, thankfully, for Ryan Douglas. Hit by a pitch, aboard at first. Tim stays at second, and this will bring up Max Price with 2 on and nobody out. Quick conference on the mound between Stufflebeam, the catcher, and Brady Popkin. No coaches involved, so it's a quick one. And Max Price gets ready to settle in. Oh, looks like Carson Pimley getting ready to step in for Max Price. First pitch to Pimley, rolled back up the middle, over the head of the pitcher, slowly out to short, then off the glove of Hopkins, and that'll load the bases. Infield single for Carson Pimley, and welcome to the ball game. Loading up the bases now for Connor Shively. Shively 1 for 2 today. He struck out in the first, singled in the second. Set is Popkin. First pitch to Shively, lifts it into the air on the right side. Center fielder moving over into the gap. He'll get under it, make the catch. Tagging from third is Carson Sims. He will score. Falcons lead 5-0. Also tagging up on that play was Ryan Douglas to third. Pimley stays put at first, and a sacrifice fly with an RBI for Connor Shively brings up Jacoby Takini. Takini doubled in the first inning, reached on an error in the second. Here, first pitch is fouled straight back. The count is 0-1. And 1 out, bottom of the fourth. Single 9-inning game between the Falcons and Roseburg today. Atypical. Usually it's going to be a doubleheader here at Kiger Stadium, but getting the single 9-inning against a non-league opponent in Roseburg. Falcons up 5-0 in the bottom of the fourth. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Takini. That one came in and hit him, and will load up the bases for the cleanup hitter, Colin Takini. Going to have a meeting on the mound here, this time including the coaching staff for Roseburg. And it'll give us an opportunity to highlight some of our sponsors here on the broadcast on mybasin.com. Want to give a shout out to Howard's Meat Center down there on South 6th Street next to Les Schwab Tires. And, of course, every bite of Smokin' H barbecue is delicious. Smokin' H, the food truck parked up at the Tap House. Big thanks to Howard's Meat Center, as well as Klamath Falls Subaru, who, through the Subaru Love Promise, has donated thousands of dollars to hometown charities here in the Klamath Basin. And, of course, the Klamath Falls Falcons. Comfortable and not corporate at Klamath Falls Subaru. Stop by and say hi. So fresh count to Colin Takini. Bases are loaded and 1 out in the fourth inning. Falcons already lead 5-0. Takini looking to add some more. First pitch to Colin. Line drive center field, and that will drop in front of the center fielder. Base hit. Douglas will score, and the Falcons will just move up one station. As Douglas scores, Pimley to third, Jacoby Takini to second. And now Colin Takini aboard at first. Give him the RBI, and the Falcons lead 6-0. P.J. Safford, who's 0 for 2 in the ball game, looking for his first hit. He's hit the ball hard twice, and this would be a good time to come up. Instead of leading off an inning, he's got runners on base. Here he'll take strike one on the outside. The count 0-1. Safford lined out to center field his first time, lined out to second base his second time. Now you send a fly ball to the outfield here, you at least could have a chance at a sacrifice fly with Carson Pimley sitting there on third. Going to try to get it pretty deep out there, though. Here's the 0-1 to Safford, taken off the outside for a ball. The count even now, 1-1 to PJ. Like I said yesterday, Safford was 1 for 3 with an RBI in the fourth inning. Here's the 1-1. Line drive back up the middle, off the mound and into center field. That will score 1, maybe 2. They're waving Takini around to score, and he dives in safely. Falcons add 2 more on a single from P.J. Safford. They now lead 8-0. Waving Takini home, a close play, but he gets in to score, and this will bring up Corbin Hamilton. Coming in to run for P.J. Safford, by the way, is Ryan Glidden. Now Corbin Hamilton, who's 0 for 2 himself today. A chance with 1 out in the inning. Still runners on base, and the pitch. Called a strike. The count is 0-1 to Corbin. He grounded out in the second, flew out in the third. On the season, Hamilton hitting .375 through the first 4 games of the year. Here's the 0-1. Rolled foul. Count is 0-2. After Hamilton, it's Ian Meyer. Popkin trying to get out of this inning 4 more runs have already scored, though, for the Falcons. They've seen their lead double here in the 4th as that pitch is taken outside, 1-2. Check in on some other scores. We'll check in on Central Point here in just a second, a team from our conference in action today. It's the 1-2 pitch home to Corbin Hamilton, is an off-speed pitch that's in the dirt, 2-2. Central Point in their non-league game today against Siskiyou up 13-1 in the top of the 5th inning, and we'll see them in a doubleheader tomorrow. 2-2 pitch, and that one is fouled straight back. Count will remain 2-2. Earlier today, North and South Medford split their league doubleheaders. Those are the only games, including teams in our league, being played today. 2-2 on the way to Corbin Hamilton once again. He will take strike 3, and that will be the second out in the 4th inning. Ian Meyer to bat now for the Falcons. Ian is 1 for 2 today, singled in the 2nd inning, grounded out in the 3rd. First baseman LaPrey playing in front of the runner Glidden as the pitch misses inside, maybe a little bit low, 1-0 at second. Burke trying to hold the runner there. It's Colin Takini, who's the runner at second. But a pretty sizable lead for Colin. And Popkin hasn't thrown over there once. Goes with a high leg kick home. Bouncer back up the middle. The second baseman, Burke, up with it. Throw to first is in time, and that will end the inning. But the Falcons score 4 on 4 base hits, and they leave 2 stranded. They lead 8-0 going to the 5th on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place home. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Josh Eldridge back with you on 104.3 and 960 Sports. About to begin the 5th inning here from legendary, beautiful, historic wooden Kiger Stadium. Josh Eldridge here. Glad to be back with you. Lane Wagner, Caden Hjort, and Payson Burke. The 3 due up for Roseburg this half inning. That's 8, 9, and 1. First pitch called a strike. And the count 0-1 to Lane Wagner, who is 0 for 1 on the day. He struck out in the 2nd inning. Poor goes with the off-speed pitch here, loops one in for a strike. The count is now 0-2 to Wagner. Class of 2028 for the Roseburg Indians. Here's the 0-2. That one fouled straight back. Count remains 0-2. Different look behind the scenes for the Roseburg Pepsi Bottle Caps this season. Of course, the Roseburg Area Legion Association, not a part of the baseball going on in Douglas County this summer, as Wagner takes a look at strike 3 for the first out in the 5th inning. The new Douglas County Baseball Association taking a lot of things behind the scenes over for Roseburg as Caden Hjort gets ready to step in now. He's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout in the 2nd inning. First pitch on its way to Hjort, called a strike, 0-1. Douglas County Baseball Association headed up by Jake Whistler. Of course, Pete Whistler from Klamath Falls, his son, been head coach of the Umpqua Community College Riverhawks, the somewhat newly formed team over there that plays at Champion Car Wash Field. And Caden Hjort goes down swinging. 3 straight swings and misses for the second out in the 5th inning. Poor making quick work of the Pepsi Bottle Caps here in the 5th. But they're doing a lot of great things up there for the Douglas County Baseball Association. They've had showcase games. They're doing an alumni game tomorrow. They've hosted some great events, including a state championship game. Well, we might have to continue this thought here in just a moment, though, as the Falcons look ready to make a pitching change after the first 2 outs in the 5th inning. It'll be Colby Medeiros coming in to throw, and he'll come in for Hayden Poor. Doesn't look like any other changes yet for the Falcons, but we'll let Colby get some warm-up tosses in and step aside. More Falcons baseball is next. Back after this in the top of the 5th inning, Klamath Falls leads 8-0.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Well, Colby Medeiros, the right-hander from Bonanza High School, into pitch for the Klamath Falls Falcons, although that's not the only change for Klamath Falls here, as we've got a full new-look outfield for the Falcons. We'll introduce you to Hunter Glidden in left, Carson Pimley in center, and Ryan Glidden in right. And, of course, Medeiros on the mound coming in for Hayden Poor. Give you the final line score for Hayden Poor here in just a minute, as the count is 0-2 now to Payson Burke. Pitch on its way from Medeiros, trying to set the Pepsi Bottle Caps down in order. Pop fly ball foul out of play. Count will remain 0-2. Looking at the final line for Hayden Poor, exits the game after 4 2/3 innings pitched. 3 hits, struck out 9 batters. As that pitch is taken away 1-2. 9 Ks in 4 2/3. That is incredible, frankly. 3 hits allowed, 1 walk for Poor. Here's the 1-2 home. Medeiros delivers it. Fly ball right side and gets down for a base hit over the head of Colin Tacchini and down in front of Glidden. A 2-out knock for Payson Burke brings up Zane Hopkins. Hopkins 0 for 2 today. He flew out in the first and struck out in the third. Medeiros delivers the pitch, swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. After Hopkins in the order is Brady Popkin. Small lead off at first, not much to speak of for Burke. And the 0-1 home is rolled foul. The count now 0-2. Hopkins from Days Creek High School, class of 2026, will begin his senior year in the fall. The 0-2 on the way to Hopkins. Again, fouled off, getting a piece of it. Sending it to the backstop. The count will remain no balls and 2 strikes to Hopkins. Again, he struck out back in the third. Medeiros looking for a way out of the fifth after coming in relief. Here's the 0-2. And here's a line drive to the second baseman, past the diving glove of Tacchini and into right field. And another 2-out base hit keeps the Bottle Caps alive in the fifth, bringing up Brady Popkin as Burke advances to second. Fifth hit of the day for Roseburg. comes with 2 outs in the 5th. Popkin had one of those hits back in the 3rd. He is 1 for 2 today. In his other at-bat, he struck out in the 1st inning. Popkin's been the pitcher today for Roseburg. We can check on the line score for him. Might not have time. Here's a ground ball to 3rd. Charging is Meyer. Quick throw to 1st, and a nice play by Meyer. Makes the play in time. And that will end the inning. The Bottle Caps get a couple of base hits in the inning, but they leave them both stranded as they trail Klamath Falls 8-0 going to the bottom of the 5th on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
New pitcher in the game for Roseburg in the bottom of the 5th inning, a game in which the Pepsi Bottle Caps trail the Klamath Falls Falcons 8-0. It'll be Payson Burke on the mound for the Pepsi Bottle Caps. We'll take a look at him in just a minute as we get you the rest of the changes here for Roseburg. The former third baseman Lane Wagner has moved over to second. Of course, Burke coming in to pitch from second base. Former pitcher Brady Popkin has moved over to third. Looks like those are the only changes for Roseburg here in the 5th. As we can check in the final line score for Brady Popkin as he exits the game. Popkin pitched 4 innings, gave up 10 hits, 8 runs, 7 of them earned, didn't walk anybody, and struck out 3 batters. Take a look at the early season numbers for Payson Burke here in just a moment if we have any, as the first task for him is going to be Ryan Glidden. Pitch swung on and missed. Count is 0-1. Glidden keeping his hands low, awaiting the 0-1 pitch. That one nearly hit him. The count is now even, 1-1. Payson Burke this season for Roseburg on the mound, making his first appearance in relief of the season as Glidden swings and misses there, 1-2. Burke got 1 start, pitched 2 innings in that start, gave up 1 hit and 1 run while striking out 1. Here's the pitch. That one misses outside. The count even to Glidden, 2-2. After Glidden, I believe it's going to be Hunter Glidden, and then Carson Pimley, the next couple of guys up for the Falcons. 2-strike pitch to Glidden, swings through the inside fastball. He goes down on strikes for the first out in the 5th inning. Hunter Glidden getting ready to bat now in the place of Ryan Douglas. Douglas exits the game after going 1 for 1 and 2 runs scored with an RBI. Count now 2-1 to Hunter Glidden. Count 0-2, pardon me, to Glidden. Here's the pitch. Line drive, center field, and that one will get through for a base hit. And a one-out single for Hunter Glidden in his first at-bat. Puts a runner on for Carson Pimley. Pimley 1 for 1, singled and scored in the fourth. And getting ready to bat now with that runner aboard at first. Set is Payson Burke, and the pitch will miss outside. The count is 1-0. On deck after Pimley is Connor Shively. Burke taking his time, a lot more deliberate out there than Brady Popkin, trying to dictate the pace maybe a little bit more against his Falcons orders. That pitch misses outside, 2-0. Burke from Roseburg High School, class of 2027. Means for him, he just wrapped up his sophomore campaign. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That one nearly coming in and hitting Carson Pimley. The count now 3-0 to the center fielder for the Falcons. Decent lead off of first for Hunter Glidden. And the 3-0. That one is in the zone, inside corner, just below the belt for Pimley, and the count is 3-1. Working out of the stretch, Payson Burke set, delivers the 3-1. That one in there as well. Elevated fastball, but over the plate and in the zone, working back from a 3-0 count now to run it full. Pimley keeping his hands back in a 3-2. The delivery home is looked at for ball 4, missed well outside. Now there's 2 on and 1 out for Connor Shively. Chase Barrett going to pinch hit for Connor Shively. And so we'll see Chase take his first cuts of the game here. First pitch to Chase Barrett, misses outside. The count is 1-0. Barrett got 2 at-bats, or 2 plate appearances, I should say, yesterday. Was hit by a pitch the first time around, and then he singled in the 7th inning. That one misses outside as well to count 2-0. Barrett for the season is 2 for 4. Big lead off of first for Pimley. No one's holding him there. He can afford to take a big lead. The second baseman now, Wagner, trying to hold the lead runner honest. And then returns home. The count now 2-1 after the swing and a miss by Chase Barrett at the plate. Jacoby Tacchini on deck for the Falcons. Pitch on the way, and it'll miss outside. The count is 3-1 to Chase Barrett. Again, a base out there is open, but don't want to leave the bases loaded for Jacoby Tacchini due up next. Pitch on the way from Burke. Here it is. Swing and a miss from Barrett on the inside fastball. Jammed him up a little bit. Tried to turn around on it, but got to get real out in front of those inside pitches. And Barrett just a bit late on that one. So now the count is once again full. Burke checks on the runners before delivering the full count pitch. Chopper to the third base side. It is foul. And we'll do it again. 3-2. Game 4, Central Point has gone final. The team we'll see here at Kiger Stadium tomorrow just picked up a 14-4 win over the Siskiyou American Legion team. Back to this one. The 3-2 home to Barrett is looked at for strike 3. In on the hands, but Barrett down looking for the second out in the 5th inning. Jacoby Tacchini, batting now for the Falcons, has reached base all 3 times today, but has done it in 3 different fashions. A double in the 1st inning. He reached on an error in the 2nd and was hit by the pitch in the 4th inning. Pitch to Tacchini, fisted out towards second. The second baseman, Wagner, will move over to make the catch and retire the side. The Falcons get a base hit in the inning. They leave 2 stranded, unable to score any runs. but they carry an 8-0 lead to the 6th. Back after this on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
We drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Back at the top of the 6th inning of an 8-0 ball game so far for the Falcons. 8 runs on 11 hits. No errors for the Falcons. They've left 7 runners on base so far. Roseburg, no runs on 5 hits. 1 error for the Pepsi Bottle Caps. They have left 6 runners on base so far. As Colby Medeiros, into his 2nd inning of relief, will fire in ball 1 to Aaron Lepre. It's Lepre, Ruiz, and Cortez do up this half for Roseburg. That's 4, 5, and 6 in the Bottle Caps order. Pitch finds the zone inside. The count is 1-1 to Lepre, who's 0 for 2 today. Struck out a pair of times in the 1st and 3rd innings. Here's the 1-1. That one finds the zone 1-2. I'm going to pick up a thought that I started last inning, or maybe the inning before that, about the Douglas County Baseball Association and some of the things that they've done to improve their programs in Roseburg. Ground ball sent out to short. Shively comes up with it, bobbles it for a moment, but recollects, makes a strong throw in time, and that'll be the first out in the 6th. Way to go for Connor there, bobbling the ball. You start to take a deep breath a little bit, but Shively recollected and made the play at first to record the out. One of the very cool things that I think that the Douglas County Baseball Association has done this year was the I-5 rivalry game, as Nick Ruiz swings and misses at the first pitch. They welcome 2 teams that would normally never play each other to Champion Car Wash Field, the Springfield Drifters of the West Coast League. So here's a fly ball, left center field. Over is the center fielder, Pimley, to make the catch on the run. He lost his hat in the process, but records the 2nd out. Nice running catch there by Carson in center. Here's Riley Cortez to bat now. Now joining the Springfield Drifters from the West Coast League was the Medford Rogues from the Empire State League, and I thought it was very cool that both of those teams were able to do battle in Roseburg, and they called it the I-5 series. Of course, Springfield right off the interstate, same with Medford, and being able to bring those teams there, all as a fundraiser for the Douglas County Baseball Association. The 0-1 is popped over to third. Third baseman Ian Meyer had a little bit of trouble with it with the wind, but makes the catch regardless. And the Pepsi Bottle Caps down in order in the 6th. They trail the Falcons 8-0 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
As it starts to warm up outside, it's time to tackle your lawn. And Kyle's Lawn Care is who to contact. Kyle's been doing lawn care in Klamath Falls for over 9 years. He offers a variety of services designed to make your life easier. Kyle's Lawn Care offers weekly mowing jobs, which includes mowing, edging, and blowing off sidewalks, snow removal, big cleanup jobs, dump runs, and more. At Kyle's Lawn Care, they strive to give each job their all and go the extra mile to exceed their customers' expectations. To get an estimate, you can call or text 541-281-3623. Kyle's Lawn Care.
Falcons lead the Roseburg Pepsi Bottle Caps 8-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning. It'll be Colin Tacchini, P.J. Safford, and Corbin Hamilton, so long as there's no changes for the Falcons this half inning. Doesn't look like any changes for Roseburg. Maybe one. It looks like Kellen Garrett is catching, I believe. Might see if there's any other changes. Looks like we've got a new third baseman, perhaps, as well for Roseburg. With Caden Gwaltney in at third. Well, here's Colin Tacchini, who was 1 for 3 today with an RBI in the 4th. First pitch here to Colin. He will take it low, 1-0. Colin Tacchini making a splash in the Falcons hit-a-thon earlier today. Tacchini, one of 2 players to leave the yard during the hit-a-thon. Himself and Connor Shively hitting home runs in the hit-a-thon as the Falcons did that earlier today, a little bit before the game. Don't have the numbers finalized for it exactly, but I heard the number between $15,000 and $20,000 raised for the Klamath Falls Falcons team this year, and a lot of that going to be used to get their trip in Alaska up off the ground and make it a fun time for everyone involved. Not sure how much Colin raised himself for that home run, but someone ought to buy him dinner in Alaska for going deep in the hit-a-thon. Count 2-1 right now. Pitch on the way from Burke. That one is out of the zone. Count 3-1. Still an opportunity to fundraise for the Falcons, and that's with their baseball camp, which begins on Monday. Just a reminder, still time to sign up your kid. The 3-1 is called a ball to Tacchini. He will take first to lead off the 6th inning. P.J. Safford getting ready to bat now for the Falcons. He is 1 for 3 with a couple of RBIs after a single in the 4th inning. And signups for Falcons baseball camp, you can find the sheet on our website on mybasin.com. All players, all ages welcome Monday through Thursday at Kiger Stadium. Don't forget, if you want your kid to come on out, real easy. Registration begins at 7:30 Monday morning at Kiger Stadium. First pitch to Safford misses wide. The count is 1-0. Safford settles back in for the next pitch. Burke delivers. Safford, line drive the opposite way, foul down the line, and the count is 1-1. Is that Hayden Poore in the first base coach's box? We got to get whoever we can down there in the first base coaching box. The Falcons are short one coach today, Mr. Sean Teeters, the Skyline Conference Coach of the Year. Was up there coaching the 4A All-State game, so congratulations to Coach Teeters as Safford takes strike 2 there, 1-2. We'll get Coach Teeters back tomorrow for the league doubleheader, I'm sure. But, yeah, congratulations to him being able to coach the 4A All-State game. 1-2 on the way to Safford. That one winds up behind him and gets by Garrett, the new catcher in for Roseburg, allowing Tacchini to advance to second standing on the wild pitch. The count is 2-2 to P.J. Safford, and Corbin Hamilton is on deck. Second baseman Wagner trying to keep the runner Tacchini honest there, but a big gap now on the right side of the infield, and Safford will take an outside fastball and run the count full. Big gap there on the right side with the second baseman Wagner towards the bag, and LaPrey sort of hugging the foul line as well. Here's a 3-2. Safford hits it right back up the middle, right to Wagner, who was playing on the second base bag, makes the throw to first in time, and that'll be an out, but advancing to third is Colin Tacchini with one away. So move a guy over. Safford doing his job there for Corbin Hamilton to try to drive in a run. Corbin 0 for 3 today, a ground out, a fly out, and a strikeout. Looking to find some green out there with a runner in scoring position. First pitch on the way to Hamilton. Fly ball center field. Coming in is Ruiz. That'll drop in front of him. Coming in is Colin Tacchini. He will score standing. And the Falcons with a 9-0 lead. RBI single for Hamilton, his first knock of the day. Comes up in a big spot there. And in steps Ian Meyer. Meyer 1 for 3 today, singled in the second and would score in that inning. He has since grounded out twice. Here's the first pitch. That one is taken for a strike, 0-1. And still, for Roseburg's infield, just a massive hole on the right side. Now with the first baseman LePray holding the runner, Wagner still shaded way over to second base. If Meyer can find a way to go opposite field, be near guaranteed a base hit, but he fouls off the 0-1 pitch. Now he's be happy to go anywhere in an 0-2. Choke up a little bit, keep the hands low. Meyer readies for the 0-2 pitch. And here it is. Line drive back up the middle, off the glove of the pitcher Burke. It rolls near second base. Burke recovers, throw on to first is in time. That is a great recovery by the pitcher, Payson Burke. Line drive comebacker off his glove. Recollects to run the baseball down and then throw out Ian Meyer. Tip of the cap when you see a good play like that. This will bring up Ryan Glidden. As, by the way, on that same play, Corbin Hamilton advancing to second with 2 outs in the inning. Glidden 0 for 1 in the contest. He struck out in the 5th inning. An RBI opportunity with 2 outs in the 6th. Here's the first pitch to Glidden. Be taken for a ball upstairs. The count is 1-0. After Ryan Glidden, it's Hunter Glidden who waits on deck. 1-0 pitch as Burke comes set, steps, and delivers. That one over the heart of the plate. In there for a strike. The count even to Ryan Glidden. Big lead off a second for Hamilton. Now no one holding him there. The pitch is taken outside. The count 2-1. Second baseman Wagner shaded fairly well to the right. Shortstop Hopkins in the vicinity where he could hold the runner at second, but opting not to, playing on the outfield cut of the grass. Ahead of the 2-1 pitch to Glidden, which is fouled off. The count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Glidden, a late addition to this game, hitting in the 8 hole after subbing in for Carson Sims, who was 2 for 2 with a couple of doubles. Glidden looking to make his own mark on the game. Here's the 2-2. Came in and hit him. Glidden looked like he was about to offer at that pitch before it came in, and I think got him on the wrist or the hand area. And regardless, he's hit and will take first, bringing up younger brother, Hunter Glidden. While Ryan Glidden attends Klamath Union High School, Hunter Glidden will attend Henley High School. Just wrapped up his freshman season with the Henley JV team mostly. We saw him a little bit up at the varsity level against some opponents like Mazama. Saw him throw a little bit against the Vikings somewhat. And towards the end of the season as well, when the Hornets had already wrapped up their 3rd consecutive Skyline Conference championship. The 1-0 pitch to Hunter gets to the backstop, and both runners will advance into scoring position. So an RBI opportunity for the young Glidden with 2 outs in the 6th inning. That runner standing at third would put us into mercy rule territory in the 7th, so Roseburg really looking to deny that one. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Hunter. It is taken outside for a ball. The count now 3-0. Glidden singled in his first at-bat. That was in the 5th inning. Payson Burke comes set. Glidden chokes up in a 2-strike count, sends a jolt into one center field. Ruiz turns and it's over his head. That'll score both runs. Glidden digs for 2 and in standing. A 2 RBI double for Hunter Glidden, and the Falcons lead 11-0. Hamilton scored from third. Ryan Glidden scored from second. Hunter Glidden rolling into second with a standing 2-out, 2 RBI double, bringing up Carson Pimley. Pimley 1 for 1 in the game so far. He singled in the fourth and reached on a walk in the fifth. First pitch to Pimley is taken for a strike. The count is 0-1. After Pimley in the Falcons order is Chase Barrett, I believe. Pitch misses upstairs. The count is 1-1 to Pimley. Again, now with the Falcons leading 11-0, would be in the territory of a mercy rule win should the Falcons lead by 10 or more at the end of the next half inning. There's a pitch taken for a strike, 1-2. Of course, any extra insurance would go a long way. And there is a bit standing out there with Hunter Glidden in scoring position at second. 1-2 on its way to Pimley. Two-hopper out to short. Hopkins makes the throw across the diamond. It is in time for the out. But the Falcons score 3 runs in the inning. Only need 2 base hits to do it. And they take a commanding 11-run lead to the top of the 7th on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
the pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
mybasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Welcome back to 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com. Top of the 7th inning, Falcons lead 11-0 over the Roseburg Pepsi Bottle Caps. See a couple of changes here for the Falcons defensively. Looks like Carson Sims has re-entered the game in at second. Max Price has re-entered the game at third. And Chase Barrett now out there defensively in left field. Is Colby Medeiros still the pitcher for the Falcons? Looking to close out this win. But a leadoff base hit for Cam Stufflebeam. This is Kellen Garrett with a leadoff single for the Pepsi Bottle Caps in the 7th inning. This will bring up Chase Allen getting his first at-bat of the game for Roseburg. First pitch from Medeiros, fouled off. The count is 0-1. Allen bats in place of Lane Wagner, who was 0 for 2 on the day. He struck out twice. Pitch move over to first, and back safely is Garrett. And again here batting for Wagner, Chase Allen from Roseburg High School fouls that one back. The count is 0-2. Medeiros set. The right-hander from Bonanza delivers the 0-2 and gets the strikeout looking. Down goes Allen for the first out in the 7th inning. Caden Hjort batting now for Roseburg. He's 0 for 2, sends one in the air, right side. Could be playable in foul territory, but just goes out of play, and the count is 0-1. Hamilton gave chase, but ran out of room down there. Quite a few fans still hanging out in the sun here at Kiger Stadium, down that side on the patio, on either side, really. Here's the 0-1. That pitch is in the dirt. The count is 1-1. Hope to see lots of kiddos running around tomorrow. Of course, Father's Day here at Kiger Stadium, hosting a couple of games against Central Point. Encourage everyone to come on out and bring Dad for that game or two. 1-1 pitch and another ground ball to the left side. Shively gloves it in the gap but won't have a chance at a throw. And so 2 base hits to start the 7th inning. And now Caden Gwaltney getting ready to bat for the Pepsi Bottle Caps. First time we've seen Gwaltney today. He is about to begin his freshman year at Roseburg High School. Just finished up his 8th grade school year. Young man looking to come up in a spot for his team. It's the 1-0 pitch is going to miss low. The count 2-0. 11-0 ball game, top of the 7th. And so an opportunity for the Falcons to try and get away with a mercy rule victory if they can keep those runs on base instead of letting them come in to score. So the 2-0 misses 3-0. The Bottle Caps would need to score at least 2 runs to continue the ball game. Well, right now they're both on base, and Gwaltney is ahead in the count, 3-0. Now 3-1. After Gwaltney in the order, it's Zane Hopkins on deck for Roseburg. Here's the 3-1 from Medeiros right over the middle to count 3-2. Maybe a little bit low for Gwaltney's liking, but now the count is full. Medeiros battling all the way back as he comes set and delivers the pitch. That one is strike 3 looking. A little bit off the outside. Gwaltney displeased, but he goes down as the second out in the 7th inning. Stepping in now, Zane Hopkins. The Caps down to their final out of the ball game. And here's the pitch from Medeiros, taken wide. The count is 1-0. If the game continues, on deck is Aaron LaPrey, or maybe Brady Popkin, I believe. We got them both out there. It should be Brady Popkin. Count is 1-1. Apologies for the mix-up there. What we do know for sure is that Zane Hopkins is at the plate, even in the count, against Medeiros, who comes set. High leg kick, delivers, goes off speed, and gets Hopkins out in front of the changeup, now in a 1-2 count. And the Caps down to their final strike of the ball game here at Kiger Stadium. Medeiros, a deep breath before the 1-2. It bounces to the plate, gets away from Safford for a moment, throw down to second to try to get the back runner, and they got him. And an unusual way to end the ball game, but the Falcons will take care of business at home with an 11-0 win over the Roseburg Pepsi Bottle Caps. We'll be back to recap it all in just a moment, so stick with us here on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Your coverage of Falcons baseball continues next on mybasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Final score tonight from Kiger Stadium. The Klamath Falls Falcons victorious over the Roseburg Pepsi Bottle Caps 11-0. For the Falcons, 11 runs on 13 hits. They commit no errors, and they leave 8 runners on base today. For the Roseburg Pepsi Bottle Caps, no runs on 7 hits, 1 error for them, and they leave 7 runners left on base. The winning pitcher in the contest for Klamath Falls will be Hayden Poor, who pitched 4 2/3 innings, giving up 3 hits, striking out 9. The losing pitcher was Brady Popkin for the Roseburg Bottle Caps. 4 innings pitched, 10 hits, 8 runs, 7 of them earned, no walks, and he struck out 3. In fact, only 3 walks given out combined in the day today. A lot of base hits, a lot of extra base hits, and it certainly didn't feel like an 11-0 ball game today, but the Falcons coming away victorious thanks in part to a multi-hit day for Carson Sims, who finished 2 for 2 with 2 doubles and 1 RBI. Other notables for the Falcons include Hunter Glidden, who finished 2 for 2 today with a couple of runs batted in, and those were the only guys with multiple hits today for the Falcons. 7 hits spread out across 7 players for Roseburg. Again, no RBIs for them. They struck out 11 times throughout the day. No extra base hits for Roseburg either, as the Falcons come away with a resounding win. Take this one, feel good about it. It's not going to be this easy moving forward. The Central Point Comets come to town tomorrow on Father's Day for an area doubleheader, which is set to be a good one. Central Point, the defending Oregon State champions, come here to Kiger Stadium. First pitch at 5:30 tomorrow. Hope to see you then, either here at the stadium or on the broadcast on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Want to thank everybody involved in the broadcast today. The head coach for both teams. Today it was Joe Tacchini for the Klamath Falls Falcons, but also want to take a minute to recognize Sean Teeters as well. Typically the head coach of the Falcons, up coaching the 4A All-State game today, but as always couldn't do it without Sean and the rest of his staff, including Craig Connor as well. Also the head coach for the Roseburg Bigfoot Pepsi Bottle Caps, Joshua Robbins. Big thanks to them for getting us what we need before the game today. And of course our scorer, the public address announcer, Mike Safford, for making sure I know what I sound like I'm talking about up here in the box. And thanks again to you for joining us for each and every edition of a new Klamath Falls Falcons broadcast. Like I said, back tomorrow here at Kiger Stadium at 5:30. Hope to see you then. But until then, my name is Josh Eldridge. Have a great rest of your Saturday night. So long and good night from Kiger Stadium in Klamath Falls.